start? Good morning, everyone. So in the last class, we have completed multi-threading, right? Multi-threading, we have discussed non-synchronization and synchronization. I hope you understood. What is synchronized method? What is synchronized block? Right on. Driven. Okay. And when we use synchronization, if you use a synchronized block or synchronized method in a class, then JVM will acquire the lock of an object. Remember? Okay. After completing which one? Multi-threading, we started a new chapter, and the last chapter, which one? Collections framework. So let's talk about collections framework, shall we? So listen. So we have collections framework. Following everyone? Just a second. Okay, see. So let's talk about collections framework, shall we? The first thing which we need to answer is, what is a collection? So let's try to understand what is a collection. Listen. So what is a collection? A collection. What is a collection? A collection is an object. What is a collection? A collection is an object. A collection is an object. So what is a collection means? A collection is an object. It's an object. Is this clear? So what is a collection? A collection is an object. And why we use a collection now? Say it. A collection is an object, and why we use a collection? See, a collection is an object, and a collection is used to represent. A collection is used to represent a group of other individual objects. A group of other individual objects, like this. A group of other individual objects. A collection is an object, and a collection is used to represent a group of other individual objects, like this. A group of other individual objects as a single entity. So what are these? These are group of other individual objects. What are these? Group of other individual objects. So these are group of other individual objects. So what is a collection? A collection is an object. A collection is an object, and a collection is used to represent a group of other individual objects as a single entity. Entity means one object is called one entity. A group of object is represented as one object. Instead of saying one object, we say entity. Entity means object only. What do you mean by entity? Entity means object. So in simple language, I will say a collection is an object. In collection object, we store group of other objects, group of other individual objects. And after storing group of other objects, a collection represents one entity. A collection represents one entity, single entity, one entity. Is this clear? Answer me. See, actual diagram is not this one. Actual diagram is this one. Say this is collection. You tell me every object will have a hash code or reference number, or So where objects are created? Inside heap area. Every object will have a unique hash code, which is also called reference number, which is also called a reference number. Every object will have a unique hash code, which is also called reference number. Correct or not? Now, who holds reference number? Reference variable holds reference number. Correct or not? Reference variable hold reference number. So a collection is an object. A collection store group of other individual objects physically? No, not physically. It stores the reference numbers of other individual objects. A collection is an object. A collection object stores the reference numbers of other individual objects. It stores the reference numbers of other individual objects like this. It stores the reference numbers of other individual objects. So a collection is an object, and a collection is used to represent a group of other individual objects as a single entity. Actual diagram is this one. So this is collection, which is an object. This is collection, which is an object. And what are these are? These are group of other individual objects. Group of other individual objects. So this is collection. Okay, this is the group of other individual objects. So a collection is an object. It stores the reference numbers of other individual objects. Is this clear? But indirectly we can say other individual objects. See, actual diagram is this one. But better understanding, we can take this diagram. Is this clear? So tell me, what is a collection? A collection is an object, and a collection is used to represent a group of other individual objects as a single entity. Here, entity means a collection is called one. Collection is an object, which is called entity. Entity means object only. So see, in a collection object, we store group of other individual objects. In a collection object, we store group of other individual objects. And after storing other individual objects, a collection represents single entity. A collection represents single entity. And after storing group of other individual objects, a collection represents one single entity, single entity. Is this clear, Bhaiman? Answer me. Understood what is a collection? Now, after understanding what is a collection, let us try to understand what is collections framework. What is collection? What is a collection framework? Shall we? So let's try something called what is collection framework. What is collection framework? Collection framework provides is a bunch of or set of classes and interfaces to represent a group of individual objects as a single entity. So what is collection framework? A set of classes and interfaces which are used to represent a group of individual objects as a single entity is called as collection framework, or you can say collection framework provides a set of classes and interfaces to represent a group of individual objects as a single entity. Is this clear? Collection framework provides set of classes and interfaces to represent a group of individual objects as a single entity. So who provides a set of classes and interfaces to represent a group of individual objects as a single entity? Collection framework. So collection framework means set of classes and interfaces. Set of classes and interfaces. Is this clear? A collection is an object, and a collection is used to represent a group of other individual objects as a single entity. In a collection is an object. In a collection object, A collection is an object. Okay. And in a collection object, we store a group of other individual objects. After storing a group of other individual objects, a collection represents single entity. A collection represents single entity. Collection is an object. and in a collection object, we store group of other individual objects. After storing other individual objects, a collection represents single entity. Collection frameworks mean set of classes and interfaces. It provides set of classes and interfaces to represent a group of individual objects as a single entity. Everyone understood this? Answer me. Listen, we have one more thing called collections. What we have? Collections. So what is this collections? Okay, it is a class. What is collections? It is a class. Collections is a class available in java.util package. Java.util package. Collections is a class. It is a class available in java.util package. Okay. Is this clear? Collections class provides several utility methods. Collections class provides several utility methods. Collections class provides several utility methods for collections. It provides collection class means it provides several utility methods for collections. So what is utility methods? For example, I want to sort the objects of a collection. To sorting the objects of a collection. Are you following or not? So in collection class, you will find one method to sort the elements, to sort the objects of a collection. So sort is called utility method. Suppose I have a collection, in that we have some objects. I want to sort them in ascending or descending order. So you will find one method in collections class to sort the objects of a collection. So sort is a utility method. Are you following? In multi-threading, we have discussed synchronized, not synchronized. Some collections are not synchronized. To make some collection object is not synchronized. To make it synchronized, there is a method. In collections class. So see, collections is a class. If you go to java.util package, java.util package, see, there is a class whose name is collections. Collections is a class. It provides several utility methods. Which method? Utility method for collection. So who are called utility methods? So see, for example, who are called utility methods? See, it provides several utility methods for collection. So one of the utility method is copy. One of the method is copy. Copy is called utility method. It is used to copy the objects of one collection into another collection. Okay, see here. Say. See, there is a method called max. Max is a utility method. What it does? It returns the maximum element. See, in collection we store group of other individual objects. Or The objects which we are storing in collection are called as elements. So this method returns the maximum element of the given collection according to the natural ordering of elements. Okay, so this is called, we have min, we have replace all, we have reverse. So reverse is a utility method, max is a utility method, min is a utility method. See, rotate is a utility method, shuffle is a utility method, singleton is a utility method. Okay, sort is a utility method. Are you following? Shuffle, okay, sort, okay, singleton, okay, rotate, okay, reverse. All these are utility methods. Which methods these are? Utility method. Are you following or? So this collections is a class. It provides several, or it contains several utility methods for collection. It provides several utility methods for collections. Remember that one. Now, so let's do one thing. Let us try to understand something called arrays. Already we know arrays, but we are going to compare arrays with collection. So what are arrays? Arrays are indexed collection of fixed number of homogeneous elements. Arrays are indexed collection of fixed number of homogeneous elements. In an array, we can store collection of elements. Every element in an array has index which start from 0. Is this clear? Okay, so arrays are indexed collection of fixed number of homogeneous elements. So in array, we can store one element or collection of every element in an array has index. Every element in an array has index which start from 0. Every element in an array has index which start from 0. Is this clear? Every element in an array has index which start from 0. Is this clear? Now that's why arrays are called indexed collection of elements. And at the time of writing the program, we create array in the program. At this time, we have to give the size to array. And at runtime, we cannot change the size of array. Can we change? We cannot. That's why arrays are fixed number of elements. Arrays are fixed number of elements. Arrays are indexed collection of fixed number of elements. And in array, we can store only one type of element, homogeneous elements. We cannot store different types of element, heterogeneous element. Is this clear? So arrays are indexed collection of fixed number of homogeneous elements. Arrays are indexed collection of fixed number of homogeneous elements. Is this clear, everyone? Okay, so let's see so tell me, instead of using collection to store a group of individual objects, we can use array, we cannot use array. We can use arrays or not. We can use arrays, but arrays are having disadvantages. Instead of using collection to store a group of individual objects, we can use arrays. But arrays are having disadvantages. Arrays are not having disadvantages. But arrays are having disadvantages. That's why we are not using arrays. So let's see the disadvantages of arrays. The first and foremost disadvantage of array is, arrays are fixed in size. What are arrays? Arrays are fixed in size. So what do you mean by fixed in size? That is, at the time of writing the program, we create array in the program. At this time, we have to give size to array. Then we compile and run the program. At the time of running the program, we cannot change the size of array. That's why arrays are fixed in size. Arrays are fixed in size. That is, at the time of writing the Java program, before compilation, we must have to give the size to array. And at runtime, we cannot change the size. Is this clear, everyone? So arrays are fixed in size. Following everyone. Now let's see the second disadvantage. The second disadvantage is arrays store only homogeneous elements. Arrays store only homogeneous elements. Arrays will not store heterogeneous elements. Arrays store only homogeneous elements. Arrays will not store heterogeneous elements. But this problem can be resolved in Java by using object array. By using which array? Arrays store only homogeneous elements, but not heterogeneous elements. But this problem can be resolved. This problem can be resolved in Java by using object array. Which array? Object array. So by using object array, we can resolve this problem. Is this clear? So arrays are fixed in size. That is, at the time of writing the Java program, before compilation, we must have to give the size to array. And at runtime, we cannot change the size. That's the first disadvantage. Second, arrays store only homogeneous elements, but not heterogeneous elements. But this problem can be resolved in Java. This problem can be resolved in Java by using object array. This problem can be resolved in Java by using object array. Arrays store only homogeneous element, but this problem can be resolved in Java by using object array. Which array? Object array. Is this clear? Now, third disadvantage. So what is the third disadvantage of arrays? The third disadvantage of arrays is, shall we? Answer me. The third disadvantage of arrays is, people are following on. The third disadvantage of arrays is you tell me, arrays are implemented or built or developed by using any data structure. In C language, we have data structures or no? Data structures like link stack, queue, linked list, single linked list, double linked list, circular linked list. We have not data structures. Trees, graphs, these are all data structures. People are following or not? So we have several data structures or not? Yes, we have several data structures. So my question to you people is, arrays are implemented or built by using any data structure? No. Arrays are not implemented or not built by using any data structure. That's why arrays will not provide any ready-made method support. So any ready-made method support is available in arrays or not available? Not available, because arrays are not implemented or built by using any data structure. So arrays are not built, arrays are not implemented or built by using any data structure. That's why arrays will not provide ready-made method support. So arrays will provide any ready-made method support, will not provide any ready-made method support. Arrays will not provide any ready-made method support. So arrays are not implemented or built by using any data structure. That's why arrays will not provide ready-made method support. So arrays will provide ready-made method support, will not provide ready-made method support, will not provide ready-made method support. So to perform any operation on arrays, there are no methods are available. We have to write the logic to perform any operation. There are no ready-made methods because arrays are not implemented or built by using any data structure. Is this clear? So arrays are fixed in size. That is, at the time of writing the Java program, before compilation, we must have to give the size to array. And at runtime, we cannot change the size. Arrays store only homogeneous elements. But this problem can be resolved in Java by using object array. Arrays are not implemented or built using any data structure. That's why arrays will not provide ready-made methods of. So who resolve all the disadvantages of arrays? Collection. Collections resolve all the disadvantages of arrays. Collection resolves all the disadvantages of arrays. Is this clear, everyone? So let's see the advantages of collection. Let's see the advantages of collection. Shall we? So let's see what are the advantages of collections now. So the first and foremost advantage of collections is collections are growable in nature. Collections are not fixed in nature. Collections are growable in nature, which means dynamically at a runtime, the size of collections will grow. So collections are growable in nature, which means at a runtime, dynamically the size of collections will grow. So dynamically the size of collections will grow at a runtime. Are you following? So collections are growable in nature. They are not fixed in nature. Arrays are fixed in nature. Is this clear? Now let's see the second one. The second disadvantage of collections is what? Sorry, advantage of collection is what? Collections store both homogeneous and heterogeneous elements. Here elements are called objects. So collections store both homogeneous and heterogeneous elements. Collections are growable in nature, which means at runtime dynamically the size of collections will grow. Collections store both homogeneous and heterogeneous elements. Elements means objects. Elements means objects. Is this clear? Collections are implemented or built. Collections are implemented or built by using some data structure. Collections are implemented or built by using some data structure. That's why collections provide ready-made method support. That's why collections provide ready-made method support. Ready-made method support is available in collection because collections are implemented or built by using some data structure. So what are these are all advantages of collections? Is this clear, everyone? So collections are growable in nature, which means at runtime, dynamically the size of collections will grow. Collections store both homogeneous and heterogeneous elements. Elements means objects. Collections are implemented or built by using some data structure. By using some data structure, that's why collections provide ready-made methods support. Is this clear, everyone? I'm not saying don't use arrays, use only collection. See, we have to use both arrays and collection. So let's see what are the differences between arrays and collection. Shall we? See, memory point of view, collections are better. Why? Why memory point of view collections are better? Because collections are growable in nature. Their size will grow dynamically at a runtime. But collection, memory point of view, arrays are not better. Why? Because arrays are fixed in size. At runtime, we cannot change the size of array. Suppose at the time of writing the program, before compile time, I have created array with size 10. At runtime, I want to store more than 10 elements. So can I change the size? So memory point of view, collections are better, but pointers are not. Sorry, arrays are not. Arrays are not. But performance point of view, collections are not better. Arrays are better. Arrays are better. Are you following or not? Memory point of view, collections are better than arrays. But performance point of view, arrays are better than collections. But arrays are better than collections. Is this clear? So memory point of view, collections are better than arrays. But performance point of view, arrays are better than collections. So let's see how performance point of view, arrays are better, not collection. So see. Suppose what is collection? A collection is an object or not? Assume this is collection. What is collection? Collection is an object. What is this? This is collection. And collection is an object. Is this clear? Assume, you tell me collections are growable in nature. So a collection will have some capacity. A collection will have some capacity. So what is the capacity of this collection? Say 1 lakh. What is the capacity? 1 lakh. So the capacity of collection is 1 lakh. Are you following? And assume I have stored 1 lakh objects inside collection. How many objects? 1 lakh object I have stored in a collection. I have stored 1 lakh objects in a collection. Is this clear? So how many objects we have stored in a collection? 1 lakh objects we have stored. Yes or no? So how many objects we have stored in a collection? 1 lakh objects we have stored. Now my collection is full or not? I'm trying to store 1 lakh one object. Which object? 1 lakh one object. So when I'm trying to store 1 lakh one object, what happened? A new collection, same collection will not grow. Same collection size will not grow. A new collection object will be created. What will be created? A new collection object will be created. A new collection object will be created with a double capacity. Double capacity. A new collection object will be created with what capacity? Double capacity. A new collection object will be created with a double capacity. So like this, a new collection object will be created. Like this, a new collection object will be created with a double capacity. Now in old collection object, how many objects are there? 1 lakh. All those 1 lakh objects will be shifted. All those 1 lakh objects will be shifted from old collection object to new collection object. From old collection object to new collection object. All the objects will be shifted or not? How many shifting should be done? 1 lakh shifting should be done, right or not? So 1 lakh shifting will be done. So this 1 lakh shifting takes time, will not takes time. Takes time, right or not? Now if after 1 lakh objects are shifted, old collection object will be destroyed or removed by garbage collector. Are you following? So tell me, this process takes time, will not takes time? This process takes time and impact performance, will not impact performance, and will impact performance. This process takes time and impacts performance. Is this clear? This process takes time and this process impacts performance. Will impact performance, will not impact performance. Will impact performance. Is this clear, everyone? That's why performance wise, collections are not better. Who are better? Arrays. Why? Arrays are fixed in size and we have index in array. Using for loop and index, we can easily access the elements. Are you following? Their size will not grow. Now there is no shifting of elements. Are you following or not? So arrays are better when it comes to performance. But when it comes to memory, collections are better because they are growable in nature. Are you following or not? Everyone? Okay. So let's do one thing. Let's write the differences between arrays and collections, shall we? So let's write one table. In left side, I am taking arrays. Right side, I am taking collections. Tell me the first difference. Arrays are fixed in size, whereas collections are growable in nature. So collections are growable nature. Okay, arrays are fixed in size. Okay, second difference. Collections store only homogeneous elements. Store only homogeneous elements. But collections store both homogeneous and heterogeneous elements. Both homogeneous and heterogeneous elements. Is this clear? Third difference. Arrays are arrays, collections are collections. Arrays are not. Arrays are Arrays are not implemented or built. Arrays are not implemented or built using any data structure. So arrays will not provide ready-made methods support. What do you tell me? Coming to collections, collections are implemented or built using some data structure. So collections provide ready-made ready-made methods support. Is this clear? Next difference. Memory point of view, arrays are not better. Arrays are not good, right or not? But performance point of view, memory point of view, collections are better, are good, or are better. Are not better, but they are better. Is this clear? Okay, next. Next difference. Performance point of view, arrays are better. Next. Performance point of view. Collections are not good, or not better. Not better. Is this clear? Any other difference? Where you have seen? Where you have seen? Tell me. So listen. Arrays store both primitive values and objects, whereas collections store only objects. Is this clear? Arrays store both primitive values and objects, whereas collections store only objects. Is this clear? Collections store only objects. Is this clear? Okay, so shall we? So tell me the differences between arrays and collection. Arrays are fixed in size. Arrays are fixed in size, whereas collections are growable in nature. Second difference. Arrays store only. Arrays store only homogeneous elements, whereas Collection store both homogeneous and heterogeneous elements. Both homogeneous and heterogeneous elements. Is this clear? Array store only homogeneous element. Collection store both homogeneous and heterogeneous element. Next, arrays are not implemented or built using any data structure. So arrays will not provide any ready-made methods of collections are implemented or built using some data structure. So collections provide ready-made methods of. Is this clear? Memory point of view, arrays are not better, but memory point of view, collections are better. Performance point of view, arrays are better. Performance point of view, collections are not better. Arrays store both primitive values and objects. Collections store only objects. Is this clear, everyone? So these are the differences between arrays and collections. I hope you understood the differences between arrays and collections. Answer me. Okay. So I hope you understood what is a collection, what is collection framework, and what is collections. Is this clear? Now we have discussed arrays, disadvantages of array, advantages of collection, differences between arrays and collection, and when we should go for arrays and collection. Is this clear? Answer me. Clear? Listen. Collection chapter, we are learning collections or collection framework or collections. We are learning collections, right? So collection chapter is dependent on 9 key interfaces. See, collections framework means collections only we are learning. Collection frameworks or collections we can say. Is this clear? Or let's make a heading as collections only. Okay. We're learning collections or collections framework. Okay, you can say. Is this clear? So see, what we're learning collection. So collection chapter, which chapter? Collection chapter is dependent on 9 key interfaces. How many? 9 key interfaces which are called as collection interfaces. So collection chapter is dependent on 9 key interfaces which are called as collection interfaces, which are called as collection interfaces. So collection chapter is dependent on 9 key interfaces which are called as collection interfaces, which are called as which interfaces? Collection interfaces. People are following or not? So collection chapter is dependent on 9 key interfaces which are called as collection interfaces. So let's see what are those 9 collection interfaces are, shall we? The first and foremost interface, collection interface is collection. So we have an interface whose name is collection. Next is we have list. Next we have list. Next we have which one? Set. Next we have set. And first we have collection interface. Second we have list interface. Next we have set interface. Is this clear? Now after set interface we have next collection interface is sorted set. Sorted set interface. After sorted set, we have navigable set. Which one? Navigable set. First, we have collection interface. Next, we have list interface. Next, we have set interface. Next, we have sorted set interface. Next, we have navigable set interface. Are you following or not? After navigable set, next interface is queue interface. After queue interface, next we have map interface. Next interface is map interface. Next interface is sorted map interface. And the last one is navigable map interface. Navigable map interface. Is this clear? Is this clear, everyone? The collection chapter is dependent on 9 key interfaces, which are called as collection interfaces. Okay, so we have collection interface, we have list interface, we have set interface, we have sorted set interface, we have navigable set interface, we have queue interface, we have map interface, sorted map, and navigable map. Total 9 interfaces are. Who has developed and provided all these 9 collection interfaces? Sun Microsystem. And all these 9 collection interfaces are available in java.util package. Which package? So all the above are interfaces available in java.util package, and which are provided by Sun Microsystem. Which are provided by Sun Microsystem. Which are provided by Sun Microsystem. Available in java.lang package, which are provided by Sun Microsystem. Are you following up? And listen, can we create object to an interface? We cannot. We cannot create object to interface. So all these are interfaces. We cannot create object to these interfaces, but we can create object to their implementation classes. So do we need to provide implementation classes to these interfaces? No, not required. We no need to provide implementation classes to these 9 interfaces. Are you following or not? We no need to provide implementation classes. Why? Because Sun Microsystem has provided implementation classes to these interfaces. Is this clear? So all the above are interfaces available in java.util package, which are provided by Sun Microsystem, and Sun Microsystem has provided implementation. Sun Microsystem has provided which one? Implementation classes to all the 9 collection interfaces. And Sun Microsystem has provided implementation classes to all the 9 collection interfaces. So the implementation classes of collection interfaces are called as collection classes. These are collection interfaces. Their implementation classes are collection classes. And we have to create object to those classes. I'm telling collection is an object or not? Collection is an object of a class. We create object to a class or not? So collection is an object of a class, which is an implementation class of any one of the 9 collection interface. Is this clear? See, collection is an object of any one of the implementation class of above 9 collection interfaces. Above 9 collection interfaces. So collection is an object of any one of the implementation class of above 9 collection interfaces. Is this clear? So let me show you those implementation classes, shall we? So let me show you those implementation classes. See, we have one interface called collection. So what is collection? Collection is an interface. Can we create object to collection interface? We cannot. But we can create object to its implementation class. Is this clear? So tell me, do you know an interface can have sub-interface also? An interface can have sub-interface. So see, collection interface is having one sub-interface called list. What is that? List. So what is list? List is a sub-interface of collection interface. List is a sub-interface of collection interface. Next we have which one? See, next sub-interface of collection interface is set. What is that? Set. So set is a sub-interface of collection interface. Set is a sub-interface of collection interface. Now next, collection interface is having one more sub-interface. What is that? Queue. What is that? Queue. So what is queue? Queue is a sub-interface of collection interface. Queue is a sub-interface of collection interface. Now to list interface, Sun Microsystem has provided implementation classes. So one of the implementation class of list interface is which one? Array list. What is that? Array list. So what is array list? Here C means class, I means interface. Array list is a class, and array list is an implementation class of list interface provided by Sun Microsystem. Is this clear? Again, array list. Next, another implementation class is linked list. Which one? Linked list. So linked list is an implementation class of list interface. List interface. So array list is an implementation class of which interface? List interface. Next, list interface is having one more implementation class. Which one? Vector. What is that? Vector. So vector is an implementation class of list interface provided by Sun Microsystem. Is this clear? Again, vector is having one subclass. Vector is having one subclass. So what is the subclass of vector? Stack. What is that? Stack. So stack is a subclass of vector. So these are the implementation classes of which interface? List interface. These are implementation classes of list interface. Is this clear? Now let's see the next interface. So the next implementation classes of set interface C. One of the implementation class of set interface is has set. What is that? Has set. So has set is an implementation class of set interface. Has set is having one subclass. Has set is having one subclass. So what is the subclass of has set? Linked has set. What is that? Linked has set. So linked has set is a subclass of has set. Okay, next set interface is having one sub-interface called sorted set. What is that? Sorted set. So sorted set is a sub-interface of set interface. Sorted set interface is having one sub-interface. Sorted set interface is having one sub-interface. What is that? Navigable set. Which one? Navigable set. Navigable set is a sub-interface of sorted set interface. Finally, navigable set interface is having one implementation class. What is that? Tree set. What is that? Tree set. So tree set is an implementation class of navigable set interface. Is this clear? So has set, link has set, and tree set. These are implementation classes of set interface. Next we have queue. Queue interface is having implementation class. So one of the implementation class of queue interface is priority queue. What is that? Priority queue. So priority queue is a implementation class of queue interface. Queue interface. Again, queue interface is having one sub interface. What is that sub interface? Blocking queue. What is that? Blocking queue. So what is blocking queue? Blocking queue is a sub interface of queue interface. Blocking queue is a sub interface of queue interface. Blocking queue is a sub interface of queue interface. Now blocking queue interface is having one implementation class. What is that? Priority blocking queue. What is that? Priority blocking queue. So priority blocking queue is a implementation class of blocking queue interface. It is an implementation class of which interface? Blocking queue interface. So it is an implementation class of which interface? Blocking queue interface. Is this clear? Answer me. So these are the implementation classes we have. You're following or not? Answer me. Okay. So these are the implementation classes of which interface? Collection interface. Now you can see, I means interface, C means class. So these are all collection interfaces: collection, list, set, queue, sorted set, navigable set. And their implementation classes are collection classes, and their implementation classes are collection classes. Now listen, we have one more collection interface. Which one? Map. So map is a interface, collection interface. There is no relation between collection interface and map interface. Both are two different collections. Both are two different collections. So map interface is having one implementation class. What is that? Map interface is having one implementation class called hash map. What is that? Hash map. So hash map is an implementation class of map interface. Now hash map is having one subclass. What is the subclass of hash map? Linked hash map. So linked hash map is a subclass of hash map. Next, map interface is having one another implementation class. What is that? Identity hash map. What is that? Identity hash map. Identity hash map is an implementation class of map interface. A map interface is having another implementation class. So what is the another implementation class of map interface? Is a weak hash map. What is that? Weak hash map. So weak hash map is an implementation class of map interface. Is this clear? A map interface is having one sub interface. Map interface is having one sub interface. What is that? Sorted map. Map interface is having one sub interface called sorted map. Sorted map interface is having one sub interface. What is that? Navigable map. What is that? Navigable map. So navigable map is a sub interface of sorted map. Now navigable map interface is having one implementation class. What is that? Tree map. What is that? Tree map. So tree map is an implementation class of navigable map. Is this clear? Now next, map interface is having one implementation class called hash table. What is that? Hash table. Hash table is an implementation class of map interface. Hash table is implementing map interface, as well as hash table is implementing, as well as hash table is extending dictionary, which is an abstract class. A hash table is having one subclass. What is the subclass? Properties. What is that? Properties. So properties is a subclass of hash table. So these are the implementation classes of map interface. These are the implementation classes of map interface. Is this clear? Understood, everyone? So map is a collection interface, and their implementation classes are collection classes. So now listen, everyone. Listen. In case of list, this vector and stack. This vector and stack, these are called as, just a second. Listen. So in case of list, vector and stack, these classes are called as legacy classes. Which classes? Legacy classes. So who are legacy classes? Vector and stack. Legacy means old. Legacy means, sir, why? Because they are available from Java 1.0 version onwards. From which version onwards? 1.0 version onwards. As these classes are available from Java 1.0 version onwards, that's why these classes are called as legacy classes. Which classes? Legacy classes. Is this clear, everyone? So tell me, who are called as legacy classes? Vector and stack. Vector and stack are called as which classes? Legacy classes. Why they are called legacy classes? Because they are available from 1.0 version onwards. Legacy means old, but remaining all these classes are non-legacy classes. Remaining all are non-legacy classes. Remaining all the classes are which classes? Non-legacy means remaining classes came after 1.0 version onwards. After 1.0. Only vector and stack are available from 1.0 version onwards. That's why they are called old classes, legacy classes. Remaining classes came after 1.0. Remaining classes came after 1.0. That's why remaining classes are called non-legacy classes. Remaining are non-legacy classes. Is this clear? Following everyone? Sorry, just a second. Navigable set and sorted set, these are not classes, these are interfaces. It is an interface. It is also interface. Sorry. So is this clear, everyone? Sorted set and navigable set, these are interfaces, not classes. So is this clear, everyone? Answer me. Now, coming to which one? Map. In map, in case of map, has table and properties. Who? Has table and properties. These two classes are called as legacy classes. These two classes are called as, because they are available from 1.0 version onwards. That's why these classes are called legacy. Legacy means old. And remaining classes came after 1.0. Remaining classes came after. So remaining classes are non-legacy classes. Remaining are non-legacy classes. Is this clear, everyone? So vector and stack are legacy classes because they are available from 1.0 version onwards. But has table and properties are non-legacy classes because they came after 1.0 version onwards. Is this clear, everyone? Answer me. Remaining are non-legacy. Has table and vector properties are legacy. Legacy means old classes. People are following or not? So we have collection interfaces and collection classes. We have to create object to collection classes. List is a collection. Set is a collection. Queue is a collection. Map is a collection. The most important collections are list, set, and map. And you will face questions from list, set, and map only. Are you following or not? Everyone understood the concept? So these are all the implementation classes we have, collection classes. Is this clear? So collection is an object of any one of the implementation class of above 9 collection interface. So you tell me, is there any relation between collection interface and map interface? No. Both are two different collections. So listen, we have one interface here, collection interface, correct? Collection interface is having sub-interfaces, list, set, queue. Again, list having implementation class, set is having implementation classes, sub-interfaces, and implementation class. Right or not? So listen. So this is called collections hierarchy. What is this called? Hierarchies. A tree-like structure is called hierarchy. So this is collections hierarchy. In this collection hierarchy, how many collection classes are there? Lot of collection classes are there. Only collection classes are there. Collection interfaces are also there. Collection interfaces are also there, right or not? So tell me, in this collection hierarchy, one root interface is there or not there? So who is the root interface? Collection interface. Which interface? Collection interface is the root interface in the collection hierarchy. So collection interface is the root interface in the collection hierarchy. So this is called collection hierarchy. In this collection hierarchy, one root interface is there. What is that? Collection interface. Is this clear? Now listen. This collection interface contains some methods. This collection interface contains some methods which are common to all the collections in the collection hierarchy. Which are common to collection interface contains some methods which are common to all the collections in the collection hierarchy. So let's see what are those methods which are common to all the collections in the collection hierarchy. Cells. Shall we? So go to collection interface in java.util package. So collection is an interface. The root interface in the collection hierarchy is collection interface. A collection represents a group of objects known as elements. Some collections allow duplicate, some do not. Some are ordered, some are unordered. So if you scroll down, see those methods. Add method is there. Add all method is there. Clear method. Contains method. Contains all. Equals. Is empty. Iterator. Remove method. Remove all. Size method. To array method. Several methods are there or not there. So see this. So methods of collection interface. Add method. Add all method. Clear method. Contains method. Is empty method. Iterator method. Remove all. Size to array. All these methods are available in which interface? Collection interface. Collection is the root interface in the collection hierarchy. And all these methods which are available in collection interface are common to all the collections in the collection hierarchy. Is this clear, everyone? Few methods maybe I have not written, but these are the methods. Understood, everyone? You will find all these methods in all the collections. Okay? Answer me. Everyone following this concept? Shall we move on now? So now we need to start something called wrapper classes. What we need to start? I will complete wrapper classes. In wrapper classes, I will discuss auto boxing, auto unboxing also. So after completing wrapper classes, I'm going to start collection, list collection I will start. And I'm going to discuss collection chapter by using IDE, by using Eclipse IDE, I'm going to discuss collection chapter. Okay, is this clear? So we'll do one thing. Let's start wrapper classes freshly in the next class. Okay, but everyone understood what we have discussed today? We'll try to complete collections this week. Next week, definitely advanced Java we will start. Okay, everyone. Finally, tell me, understood the things what we have discussed today? Everyone. Okay. So let's stop it. We'll continue next class.